Welcome to our first attempt at filming our second episode.
There is no audio-free footage.
Yeah, that's
video footage. There's no film. It's footage.
Because, well, think about it. Footage relates to actual film.
Feet of film.
In a foot.
In imperial. We don't use metric because we've been to the moon. Or have we? Yeah, so footage, because there's no actual feet of...
Right. We're bits and bytes here, man.
Yeah.
We're ones and zeros.
Yeah. You can't measure those... Well, you could measure... Yeah.
But isn't it wild? What you see right now, all these colors, you hear these sounds, you're actually hearing them,
the sounds
we promise.
That you're hearing,
right? Just double check everything. Everything's coming through. Okay, good. Good. We got sound.
Woo!
Sound.
Ask us how much time we spent on setup today and forgot to push one button.
It was at this moment that Dave knew the audio wasn't recording.
Yeah, so we, as you can see, we have moved the cameras around.
Yep.
We were unhappy with the finished product of the first
Digital
episode.
Zoom is not Zoom.
It is not.
And even on a nice 4K camera, looks like garbage.
You know, I recently watched one of my favorite films of all time, Patriot Games. And when they reposition the satellites and they're trying to find where the bad guys are, where Sean Miller and the guys are, he's like, on these 1980s...
But he was just rushing to help the Royals.
But on these 1980s computers... on these 1980s computers...
Yeah.
It's like, can you zoom in and enhance that? And you just get a perfect...
Which is how all digital video works.
Yeah, well...
We just don't have the button.
Yeah, we need the guy to just go...
enhance button, yeah.
And it makes the little square, and then... And then it's all perfect. We don't have that. We're not the CIA. We're just a couple guys.
We're not the CIA.
We are not. We're just a couple guys in the basement. Normal guys. American born, not foreign assets.
No.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
Definitely not going to trick you into kidnapping a governor.
No, we would never do
that.
Oh,
no, was that the FBI or the CIA? I forget.
Potato. I think they're all kind of working together.
That's true.
Sorry, water. Thirsty.
Yeah.
We did a lot of setup today, so we're not... I wouldn't say we're cranky. I would say we are highly motivated to make a great episode for everyone right now. Do you
remember the episode of the IT Crowd with Aunt Irma visiting?
No.
So it was when Moss put out on the internet whether or not men can menstruate, basically, or men can have PMS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You think...
Well, maybe.
You're not saying...
I know it sounds crazy.
Whoa! You don't think that Aunt Irma is visiting us?
The symptoms, Roy!
I am a man! He's a man! We're men!
Yeah. It was 15 years too soon.
There was.
Because apparently...
Yes, apparently we're ahead of their time and they didn't realize it.
Yeah, and now we're past it and everything is so much better.
What a weird time we lived in.
I hope. Yeah, it was like a waking nightmare for a while there.
Every day.
We're here in March. We were just talking before we filmed the... No, we didn't film the first time.
We filmed. We filmed without
And now
audio.
we'll talk again that we were discussing. It is March.
Yep.
Snow White, the
Snow
remake
White
is
out and doing gangbusters.
Yes.
Weird.
Yeah. I was watching Rachel Zegler.
Is that her name? I never remember her name.
They have all, because the internet never forgets. If you scroll through Twitter or through YouTube.
She hates you.
She really does.
Yeah.
So what I was saying on the first go around, because you care what us think.
You care what us think.
Don't be insufferable if you are trying to promote a film that you want people with money to go see.
Right, because it turns out most people who can afford to go see a film don't want to be talked down to.
Yeah, it's really weird. Even we all have our political differences, our different worldviews, but we don't have to bring them out in entertainment. We can
just enjoy entertainment and not worry about dumb stuff.
Yeah, like Patriot Games of the past. One would call it a political thriller, but you're never being preached at. It's just a very clear good versus bad story.
Yep.
And characters that you want to root for. It's as I rewatched it, I was like, this might be one of the best movies ever made. To use the vernacular of today, low key, no cap.
No cap.
It might be fire.
Yeah, it's Sigma.
Oh God, Sigma. Yes,
it's Sigma because Harrison Ford has the Riz.
He does,
or did. He started phoning it in.
Yeah. After Patriot Games, Harrison Ford was cast as like grumpy man with a family that he has to rescue.
So this brings up an interesting point. So because my lifelong friend Matt is the biggest, Matt the Legend,
yes,
is the biggest Daredevil fan we know.
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead and gave Disney my hard-earned money, which I hate doing, so I could watch Daredevil along with him and communicate with him and maintain our friendship. And like Disney does, they take properties you love and turn them into saddled drunks. So the Punisher was in episode 4. Any guesses on how he's doing?
Probably not great.
He's a saddled drunk.
No.
Because,
Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
or we should say Indiana Jones, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, they all became failures.
Bad dads.
And get replaced.
But I mean, Frank Castle can't be a bad dad because, I forgot, his kids were murdered.
True, but I guess one
You're
could
the
argue.
real parenting expert. Oh, wait, I forgot. Your kids are dead. So, Arrested Development.
Yes. But I would argue once a parent, always a parent, regardless of what happens. But yeah. It's just...
I think we had these turned in the old setup. Now the hotspot's facing me. So
I have a little dot here that I made for myself.
I was sitting more here. Well, we did a lot of setup.
Yeah, we had to move cameras around. We actually put our cameras on our light stands and our
lights on our
camera
tripods,
stands.
and everything's weird.
Yeah,
nothing's okay.
No, I'm discombobulated.
Yeah.
It's changed. I hate change.
Oh, not a fan of change.
So let's roll credits.
I used to be with it. Then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.
All right.
Did they roll?
I mean, I'm the editor, so yes, they rolled.
One thing I noticed is we went immediately into a segment after rolling the credits.
It seemed a little rushed.
We should roll.
Oh, yeah.
Vamp
now
a
we
little
can go
more.
back to the hot hoodie talk that we missed on.
Was that the first time around?
I
don't even remember.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we're repeating ourselves when this gets edited out. But I was just going to say, I have 6 hoodies, which is my humble brag. Mm-hmm. And I always wear this on filming day.
Yeah.
Not my Forest Green hoodie, which I can't find. And
then I gave my little anecdote.
I don't remember if we had the audio rolling or not.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know. We've been
old.
We have been down here talking and doing things for the last hour plus.
That's about an hour and a half now.
Yeah,
Which is usually we're like 10 minutes of catching up on our lives, and then we jump into this. So we're already out of material for this episode, except that we have a rundown.
A
punch list.
I wrote it down on a nice little note card here.
I have it on my phone because
I've got notes on my phone.
Oh, I just have the list of things we're doing.
Oh, okay. Oh, look. Because when we were setting up, mine is still set to searching for tripods at the local Walmart.
Nice, yeah. We were this close to being at Walmart without getting people. Remember people at Walmart?
Oh, gosh.
Thing. I mean, now that there's like social media, I don't know if it's probably just a page on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
Does anyone still use Facebook?
I can't say.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know that I have in a long. I deleted my Facebook account once I learned all about like the spying and stuff. I was not.
Not a fan of that.
But I guess everything spies on you.
Yeah, I had to keep mine because you can't have a business account without a personal account, and I owned a business for a while. It's come up. I used to own a business.
Yeah, you know what frustrates me is Facebook Marketplace. I would love to access that.
I still have an account to use Marketplace, but I've stripped it of all PII.
Yes. So I went to make a Facebook account with a different email address.
Yeah.
But because I was actually impressed. All my personal details were the same. And I was like, sorry, you cannot make this account.
You already exist.
I already exist. Even though I had, I want to say like 8 years ago I deleted all my Facebook account stuff. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
And it's it's gone. I guess I have to come back with my original email?
Maybe.
I don't know.
You might get like a recovery code.
I don't want to.
But yeah, it's just going to spy on you some more.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of spying, that's actually a nice segue into our first new segment of this episode.
Which one?
I have it as Conspiracy Corner. It's the first thing we're doing.
What does that have to do with spying?
I don't know.
The
government would never spy on their own citizens.
There's no spying, dude. That's just in TV and movies.
Yeah. No, we spy only exclusively on foreign assets.
Correct.
And criminals.
Yes. That's it.
Not homeschool moms.
Never. Would never. Why would they do that? That
Roll
seems
the stinger.
I am a high-priced Washington lobbyist peddling influence.
Any contract involving weapons application.
So I made that stinger. I'm actually kind of proud of that.
I like that stinger quite a bit. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I need to aim for. That I did the next one, the next segment, the stinger for that one too.
There's a lot of Tim in this episode.
Yeah, you taught me some stuff about
a little bit
about the Adobe, and I haven't been doing it as much since we've pared down.
Yeah,
and I don't have to edit my own stuff.
Right.
But I need to get back into it anyway. What we're talking about today. Oh, wait a minute. We're in Conspiracy Corner. I have to put on my conspiracy hat.
Oh, what do you have? Deep State 2024. Oh, man. Can I just say right now, you remind me of a chubby Dale Gribble.
Thank you. All right. I'm just going to have to talk like this the entire episode.
Good luck.
I need a cigarette. Oh. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today is the conspiracy theory known as predictive programming.
Predictive programming.
And we're going to use... Let me bring this over here so we don't have to use the two-shot. We're going to frame it around the 1980s spectacular
masterpiece
that is V, the original miniseries. Don't bother with the remake from the 2000s. Everything was trying to be Lost after Lost came out.
The mystery box filmmaking is garbage.
Yeah,
full stop.
Yeah, just don't bother with it. Watch the original and watch the follow up to it, the final battle.
Yeah,
but the original is really the only one you need to see.
Yeah, and it's interesting because again, this could have been last century today, or I mean any segment, because V is just, it's one of those things that I remember not a ton of our peers watched.
No.
Like, we had it filmed off of TV, or filmed, VHS.
Yes,
recorded
off of TV.
And we were one of the few households growing up that did. And very interesting stuff. Much more of a slow burn than modern stuff. Like something with aliens showing up on Earth. Aliens would show up in the first 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. V, it's like 25, 30 before they show up.
About 15.
Is it 15?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I mean, all that, like,
you get the
guerrilla news stuff that our main character's doing. Like,
and I really should have taken better notes about the names of the characters, because I rewatched, like, the first, I want to say, like, 20, 25 minutes before we were filming earlier today, but I watched it, I want to say, like, a month or so ago. Okay. So I'm not totally fresh on all the names, but what I wanted to do real quick was read out to the audience what predictive programming is.
Yes.
So I asked Grok, the artificial person.
Grok knows many things.
And I said, hey, Grok, summarize the meaning of the term predictive programming.
Okay.
And what Grok said is, predictive programming is a concept suggesting that media, such as movies, TV shows, books, or other forms of entertainment, deliberately introduce ideas, scenarios, or technologies to the public in a fictional context to psychologically prepare or condition them for future real-world events or societal changes. The theory posits that this is done intentionally, often by powerful entities like governments or elites, to make the people more accepting of these developments when they occur, reducing resistance or skepticism. For example, depicting advanced surveillance systems or global crises in fiction might normalize those concepts over time, while it's widely discussed in conspiracy circles, Deep State 24. There's no definitive evidence proving it's a coordinated strategy, and it remains a speculative interpretation of media influence. I was like, that's a really good summary.
That is a great summary, except that it frames it as though it might not be happening.
Right, and so watching V, so I would have watched this like late January, early February.
Right.
This is post-election, and pre-election, we were getting, here on the East Coast, a lot of UFO hot talk.
Yes, it was as though they were going to stage a fake alien event in order to shut the world down like they did with the fake pandemic.
Yes, so it seemed very clearly that they wanted a certain side to win, and they were going to use possibly a fake alien invasion.
Right, which there is some technology that could be very convincing to do that.
Yeah, some stuff has been released by the new administration about UFOs, UAPs, and other things. So there was some hot talk on the conspiracy side of Twitter or X about anti-gravity drives. Mm-hmm. But yeah, these drones were everywhere. And it was, even here where we live, one of my coworkers said as he was coming home, and he lives about like 20 miles from us, but he was up our way. And he was going home, and he said he saw one of the drones, and he got out of his car.
Like one of the car-sized ones?
Yeah, he said it was triangular, and he got out of his car just to look at it, because he couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And yeah, but they were just kind of everywhere.
Yeah. And then they disappeared.
Everything disappeared. We don't
get any drone talk anymore on the news.
No, but
Since the inauguration, pretty much.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So it seemed like we were being psychologically prepared for something, and that's one of the first things that came to mind as we were watching, or I was watching V, and then later you, is we have an advanced alien race that comes out of the sky, so everyone's watching on TV, and you have different types of people taking it very different ways. Like, this is it, this is the end.
Right.
Other people, oh man, this is the beginning.
Right.
Things are going to get so much better. So ultimately our aliens come out. They want to meet the UN. What is he? What do they call the guy in charge of the UN? Secretary General or something. I don't know.
It's. I saw a great meme about the UN. It's like, we heard you like government, so we gave your government a government.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's like, that's the one thing that the Earth needs: a governing body to govern governing bodies.
We already have a governing body governing our government.
Yeah.
Let's just look at the hat.
Yeah.
But so they meet with him, and they come out and they are humanoid.
Yeah.
They look just like us. They sound like us.
They have kind of a graveliness to their voice. It's quasi-robotic. They have to wear sunglasses like you.
Yeah.
Because they're sensitive to light.
I'm just sensitive to conspiracy.
You are. Yeah. And you have a bright future.
I do.
So, like, as far as we can tell, they look like us, they act like us, they sound like us, they're more advanced than us, and they want to cure our diseases, and they just need a little help if we would let them have access to some of our industry.
Yeah. So they just want a little bit of our...
Seems like a really good deal for humanity.
Yeah. So we have resources that they need.
Yep.
They have technology we could absolutely use. And so, some people are instantly skeptical.
Yeah.
Some people are all in on it.
Yup.
So, as the series progresses, we're starting to see people with those attitudes kind of take their different turns. We have... I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember names, and I just shouldn't do that because it's been too long.
If we don't have the notes in front of us, just go for it.
Yeah. But very quickly, some of the older generation that were Holocaust survivors are starting to see some very stark similarities.
Some very stark similarities. Then you have some very comfortable elites, wealthy people who are just like, hey, this is the new game in town.
Yep.
I'm going to side with the new power because I want, what's the old saying? It's better to rule in hell than serve in heaven or whatever. So it's that mindset of, I'm just going to cozy up and turn a blind eye to anything that seems a little suspicious because I don't want my comfort to go away.
Yeah. And but it's great. So one of the things that stood out to me is after their initial introduction, the aliens are coming to the like small California town where the majority of the story is taking place, and the high school band is playing the Star Wars theme song as they come down, which I thought was great.
They were playing a sound-alike. There were some notes that were different.
Oh, were there?
Yeah,
okay.
There were some different notes.
I
was like, I wonder if they got John Williams. No.
But, so they're here, they're the visitors.
Yeah.
There's a toy line made pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So they're getting the kids interested in who they are, which is anytime... communistic, fascistic, socialistic.
Yeah, they get the kids.
They start with the kids, and because you can't reprogram adults so easily.
No.
But pretty quickly in the series, I want to say within the first, I don't know if it's in the first third, maybe. We notice that people are starting to disappear.
Yes, strangely.
Yeah, and.
But we're not supposed to ask about it.
No, but just like if you've ever watched The Killing Fields, it's the scientists.
Fantastic movie.
Absolutely, yeah. If you are currently indoctrinated by our public education system, watch this.
Watch The Killing Fields and learn communism bad.
Yeah, very, very bad. Very bad.
Yeah. Not good. It's not that they didn't get it right that time. They got it right that time. Yeah. That's what communism is.
'Tis bad. All fascistic forms of government are bad.
Bad.
So we have scientists disappearing.
And literally the only people who could prove what's going on.
Yes, because the visitors obviously spoilers, not spoilers. This is 40?
It's 43 years. I think it's 80. It's either 80 or 81. Maybe it's 83.
Yeah,
it's right around 40 years old.
Maybe it says on the case.
Yeah. So it is. It's old enough to run for political office. It's old enough to rent a car. It's old enough to do all the things. So you should not be surprised to know by now the visitors aren't us. They're nothing like us. They are, in fact, dun dun dun.
Well, here, just look in the back here.
Lizard peoples. You
can see. Let me get the glare out of there.
So we see some encounters of them like eating rodents alive.
Yeah.
Before we ever see their disguise removed.
Right.
So you see them like stretch out and swallow like a gerbil whole, I think, or maybe a guinea pig. Maybe both.
Weird things. And another thing that we should point out is they invite our media.
Yes.
Which is another thing to pay very close attention to.
Yeah. It's
telling us
they
back in
get
the 80s.
media on their side. They indoctrinate the children. They disappear the opposition. Mm-hmm. They silence any alternative forms of media.
And they reward people who work for them.
Even people who literally are unemployable any other way.
Yeah. So
like that one dude who becomes part of their home guard.
Yeah.
Like he is a life loser.
Yes.
He has no prospects, and then he climbs to the highest ranks within their group because he's willing to go as far as is needed for power.
I won't say what the term is, but it rhymes with schmuseful schmidiot.
I believe in if I don't know if it was just in World War Z, the book
World War Z.
Sorry for our British friends. It's zebra, not zebra, because it's Deborah, not Debra. Anyway,
fair enough.
There you go. And herbs, because there's an H in it.
Right.
Quislings. Because it's named after a famous General Quisling who switched sides during maybe the American Revolution. Fact check me on that. But so people who tried to blend in with the zombies in that were called Quislings. It doesn't work. But yeah, so he's a Quisling because he's going full pro V.
Yeah, but if you're a non-powerful person and want to have power and then get that power, you're buying into it. So they keep the media people close. They're bought into it.
Yeah.
But then we have our handy dandy guerrilla cameraman guy.
Yep.
So our introduction to him was almost like an episode of the A-Team.
Very much.
Yeah, helicopters.
Yeah, helicopters doing low. Also, the helicopter continuity errors. Because sometimes it had rocket launchers and sometimes it didn't.
Yeah, they
did not have a great budget. But,
I think it looks great. I mean, obviously,
it has some dated stuff,
effects, but
it's fantastic front to back.
It's the stuff that I love. It's the matte paintings. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I prefer them over CG just because I'm old. Yeah.
They age better.
And I like the craftsmanship of it.
Sorry, the dogs.
Yeah, we got dogs above us. But the matting of the vessels and everything, you can very much tell
you're like,
it's an effect.
That's from the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, but I just love it. There's something about it. I guess
it's magic.
Yeah, well, someone's making the model, someone's painting the background, and obviously, if you're doing it through
I grew
CG,
up knowing the name Ralph McQuarrie,
right?
More than I knew. Visual effects guy.
Name a visual effects guy. Right. I don't know that
Sorry, I know it's a cool art.
It is. I mean, some of it looks great. I've seen very great,
but
stuff.
It doesn't hold up the way a Ralph McQuarrie. Matte painting looks, or a Weta bigature. Yeah, any of the bigatures in the Lord of the Rings hold up way better than any digital from its era.
Though I will say a lot of the CGI in that is better than stuff today.
So's the CGI in 1995's Jurassic Park.
1993's
Jurassic Park.
God. Yeah, even Terminator 2. Terminator 2! Roll it.
Terminator 2! Terminator 2!
Even that, because the limitation. Because you can't do every angle, you can't pan, you can't do all this. So they have to, I think the limitations.
We are waxing not conspiracy theory.
Right. But
which is fine.
We don't want to spoil too much of the show, but obviously the people that are skeptical start to form an alliance / rebellion, and they need to start finding missing people, and it is becoming apparent that things are not what they seem. Yeah. There are people who refuse to see it because they have chosen their side. Yes. And I guess their pride, their ego, or fear won't let them change.
Right. And it's very perfect in showing all of humanity and how you can line up.
Yep.
And how, the elites go one way, the downtrodden go another way, and then there's all these people in the middle like, I don't think this is right, guys.
Yeah, and you could argue, because, it's pretty apparent how we align, but you could say the resistance people are aware that this is an evil fascist takeover and do something about it.
Right.
You could make that argument for people that are rubbing their genitals against Teslas today. But
way to go, heroes.
Yeah, you're actually harming private citizens and private property and shareholders, people's pensions.
Yeah,
you're not actually doing anything to stop
anything good.
Who you perceive to be.
You know what a boycott is? You don't buy the thing.
Right. Don't
buy
one
the
side
thing.
one side stop buying stuff, the other side lights it on fire.
Yeah. Doesn't make you the good guy.
Right. So you may watch V and think, they're the resistance, like I'm a resistance. No, you're not.
If you light a private citizen's car on fire, you're a bad person.
Yes. So you may. What? You mean we're the baddies?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that our caps have actually got little pictures of skulls on them?
I don't.
Hans, are we the baddies?
Why do I have to have skulls on them?
But yeah, so predictive programming. It's an interesting topic to me because our father, many years ago when we were kids, I don't even know if it could have been before V or after. One of the things that came up, I don't know if it was in church or a home group or Bible study, was all the stuff with the Antichrist and the Book of Revelations, and he was like, I'm willing to bet that if the Antichrist comes, it will be in the guise of an alien invasion or like a superior race that comes to offer us, much like what happens in V.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of held that in the back of my head.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen lots of memes on like Christian X of like the guy like tapping his forehead or whatever. It's like, aliens show up. We know who you are. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, not only does it potentially predict Revelation and times, but also accurately showed kind of what humanity turned into during the COVID pandemic. Like,
people chose sides
real
quickly.
quick. People were willing to narc on their neighbors. Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden, the state is good.
Right.
What?
Right.
What?
And what really wigged me out from that is because we grew up in the best era where the right and the left it was like guns and abortion, and that's kind of like that's like what they didn't agree on. Yeah. And then for the most part, it was like, well, you got to have borders, you got to have a strong economy,
right?
Blah blah blah.
Right. And all of like the cool kids were like anti-government, anti-establishment.
Yes.
Like now, all the cool kids are like, let's do exactly what Big Pharma says.
Yeah.
What?
What happened, dude? It's wild.
Nothing says cool like giving Pfizer a better stock portfolio. Like,
that's right, kids. Fund your boomers' retirement. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, they're gonna burn through and leave you nothing.
We digress.
You don't get an inheritance.
But I will say, for predictive programming, I hope we get some kind of anti-gravity drive. I mean,
I hope it turns out that Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are actual lizard people.
Dude.
Oh, and Gavin Newsom. Those three, and Mitch McConnell. Let's go across the aisle.
Yeah. Oh,
Mitch McConnell's a lizard person.
He's absolutely a lizard person.
Like, I bet you that dude, like, can fire hose gerbils down his throat.
Yes. I'm sure all these people have tasted human flesh that we've just mentioned.
Let's just,
and more. Yeah. Yeah, but that's the other thing we should mention on predictive programming is lizard people.
Lizard people.
That's the other side of this.
That's been around forever.
Yeah.
There's the tunnels in L.A.
But a brief overview of that is that there's this entire network of tunnels that kind of just was there allegedly before all of the infrastructure was built.
Before Lewis and Clark did their expedition out west.
They took advantage of those for sewage and for subways and all the other underground infrastructure that we built. It was like, hey, it's already there. People. And even with the LA fires, they were saying how there are allegedly tunnels between where these fires happen and then different points where elites that gather for nefarious purposes have been speculated to gather. Yeah. So you could move people underground.
Around. And then they want to reclaim that property and redevelop it and use it for their own nefarious purposes.
Yeah.
Which is another conspiracy for another day.
Yeah. We could go on and on, but it's all alleged, all for entertainment purposes.
I used to think conspiracy theories were fiction. And then I lived through 2019 till today.
Right. Wild stuff.
I'm so tired. Well, anyway, I guess that wraps up Conspiracy Corner.
It wraps it up. A little outro?
Yeah, little outro. I guess I'll edit that now.
Okay. Good job, Dave. Oh, man, it's so bright in here with the glasses.
It's interesting how much easier it is to see without sunglasses in a basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throwing that out there.
Well, I got some daylight in here.
So, but before we get into the next segment, I know we had all these props that would have been perfect for this segment.
Yeah.
And this brings up, this has come up before. It's going to come up again on holy crap, I almost called it God Stuff. Sorry, Daily Show.
Show.
That's kind of, inspiration.
Yeah.
What, good artists borrow, great artists steal. So, disappearing stuff.
Oh, gosh.
So, your props disappeared. There's a trilogy that I'm going to mention today where my favorite is number 2, and I found 1 and 3.
Is it? Oh, I have...
I'm sure it's upstairs.
I have 2 copies.
I have 2 copies as well.
I could run upstairs and get...
Nope,
Okay.
we're going for it because it's on theme with the missing props.
All right.
And all of our frustrations from today. Plus, this gives us a little buffer before we say that we have a new segment. New segment. We've been wanting to do this since before we started the podcast.
Yes.
This was actually one of our first ideas. Let's just make a show about The Simpsons. So we did. It's a segment, and it is called
Carbon Blobs from Sector 7G. Roll it.
Who is it, Firebrand Smithers?
One of the carbon blobs from Sector 7G.
So, yeah, that was all me. That was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed making that one. I found some sound-like Simpsons music.
Yep.
And nailed it on the first try, ending on the I was so proud of myself.
I said ha ha.
So I could have walked around, I am so smart, which will come up another time.
Now, one of the interesting things, we've mentioned before that we were private schooled, homeschooled, then thrust into public school like lambs to the slaughter.
Right. We did all forms of education in an order that would surprise you.
Yeah, exactly. So, a neat trick to not being bullied permanently is quoting The Simpsons.
Yeah.
We were just at the right age, at the right time. There was no internet. There were no memes. But the closest thing to a meme was this week's episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah, absolutely. A shared cultural experience that mocks or sheds light on something in a humorous way.
Right. So how I survived, especially because I had 3 years of public school after you graduated, so not having an older brother with me in high school, it's like, oh, well, now I don't have a senior who's gonna... Yeah, so I got really good at my Simpsons quotes. Started in 8th grade and kind of all throughout high school.
Yeah.
Quote The Simpsons to not get bullied, or at least not get beat up.
And we should mention, at this point, I believe Simpsons is in syndication.
Yes,
we did not watch
it as it was airing until it had been airing for some time.
Yeah, because I remember Simpsons coming out when we were still in the private school.
Right, because Simpsons started in the 80s.
This season 1 started in 1989.
89, right. And we did not start watching it live until probably 95, 96.
Yeah, what is this? This was... When did it say the air date was? The first one, December 17th, 1989.
Right, because it was a Christmas episode.
Yep.
Which is what we're here to talk about today.
Yes.
Season 1, Episode 1.
Season 1, Episode 1. Not our introduction to The Simpsons. No. They started off in the mid-'80s on the Tracy Ullman Show.
Yes, they did. With a very squiggly kind of Dr. Katz animation.
Very rough and drawn, but... It gained popularity to become...
I remember Homer ate too many cookies in one of the Tracy Ullman sketches. Oh, too many cookies. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I only remember it from watching like
like a retrospective kind of thing.
Compilation episodes that they did later on.
Yeah, that's right. I remember those.
With Troy McClure.
I'm Troy McClure.
Right over your shoulder, by the way. Yeah, rest in peace, Phil
Hartman, the legend.
Yeah, so... When The Simpsons first came out, we could not watch it. It was
verboten.
So I don't know without research if it was the first animated series to not be aimed for children, but to be
certainly the first popular one. It might not have been the very first, but it was the first one to gain popularity.
So there was some controversy about it because
it looks like it's for kids, but it's grown up. Which after watching season 1, episode 1, I was like. Really? We're not allowed to watch that?
Yeah, I mean,
I know there's other episodes, but the first episode, like, this is...
It's pretty tame.
It's pretty darn tame.
And it's... so what's fun about this episode, to me, is, like, they're trying to kind of, I guess, what is that thing that idiot who did the second Star Wars sequel?
Deconstruct?
Or
shatter expectations, or whatever it is. Oh, there's a word.
Yeah, I'm already forgetting what the phrase is. It's the subvert expectation. It's trying to subvert the expectation of a Christmas special.
Right.
So the standard thing for a Christmas special is there's something that's going wrong.
Right.
Decisions are made, and the day is saved.
Right.
But every decision that's being made is making things worse.
Yes, it is.
So,
especially, I particularly loved as an employed taxpayer.
When he gets his paycheck,
when he gets his $128 paycheck, that after everything is $13.
Yes.
So I'm just like, yep.
So let's run through. I took notes. I watched it this morning.
Me too.
After having, I rewatch the series often.
I usually start at season 3. I won't lie. Seasons 1 and 2 are not as.
Yeah, they're not. The best I would say is probably season 3 through 8 are like peak.
Which
Simpsons.
is probably the Conan era.
Yeah, probably, and probably seasons 5 and 6 being the best.
Probably.
Like just banger after banger, but we'll see as we rewatch. Because I'm not paying attention to that as I just casually rewatch The Simpsons until I die.
Right.
But for the point of this, so obviously we're going to be going through The Simpsons. Only the first 10 seasons, assuming we make it that far. Make it that far. Lord. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's years of podcasting.
So one episode at a time, and just kind of break them down. And obviously, the first 2 seasons we're not going to maybe have as much to talk about.
Yeah, they might be shorter. We'll see.
Unless we just.
I only had 1 or 2 other big thoughts from that episode, so we'll see where
how about this? Then how about this? I'll start running through, and if you remember something that was in your head, you just chime right in. So we start off. With the kids doing their Christmas pageant at the school. Yeah. The first note that I took was there's a kid in there who looks like Ralph Wiggum, but is not
Ralphie. Yeah,
so
very, very Ralphie-esque.
So this is obviously as they're starting. I think that kid becomes Ralph.
Yeah.
Homer complaining about sitting through the performances, which as a parent, you want to see your kid do the thing, but you have to watch every
My daughter was in
grade.
dance for a while. Yeah. You go to the entire recital. She's on stage for 6 minutes of the 2 hours.
So,
and you're not allowed to leave.
Right, we all have to do this.
Not allowed to leave.
Unless you're some kind of sociopath.
Or, really just actualized. Like, my time is worth more than this.
Oh, okay. Like, self-actualized.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm not psychotic, I'm self-actualized. Okay, so they say the performance, they come back home, they're starting to decorate for Christmas.
We immediately see the superiority of Ned Flanders.
We're not there yet because Homer wants to find the extension cord
that's in the ball.
It's all tangled up. I think I try my best when I'm done with the Christmas season or anything like that to wrap all the cables and put them away nicely.
I know we've had this. We've hinted at this in the past that I have a background in video production. Cable management is no joke. So none of my cables get put away wrong, except here, because this is not my home.
Yeah, don't
ever put the camera down here.
Maybe I'll take a picture and we'll just post it. All right, so we're continuing. The kids are going through their Christmas list.
Yeah,
Lisa wants a pony. Bart wants a tattoo, which is central to the episode's plot. But then we go outside. Homer sets the lights.
Yeah.
Only like 4 lights are actually lit, and then one burns out. Yeah. But then we look over to Flanders.
Yeah, and Flanders is immediately superior.
Yeah, with the robotic.
Now, interesting on that one. Flanders being the outspoken Christian on the show. Merry Xmas on the house.
Oh,
not Merry Christmas.
I wonder if that was just laziness and
because Xmas is kind of not okay with most Christians.
Yeah,
you want the Christ in Christmas. Anyway,
you do.
That stood out to me as like, oh, that's odd.
Good catch, because I did not catch that. I was
on a higher level.
I think I was writing as I watched on my phone. Okay. So anyway, yeah, that's right. You're a level 50 Christian. I'm level 30.
I grinded more XP.
Yeah. There's this one boss I can't beat, but I'm gonna get there.
That's fine.
I'm gonna get there.
It's called temptation.
Let's see. Okay, so then we get later on to the jar of Christmas money.
Yeah.
So they save up, keep it in a jar. Marge is hiding in her hair, and they're going to use this to go Christmas shopping.
Yep.
So when they go to the mall, park in section ZZ or
ZZ,
and go in, and then Bart finds a tattoo parlor in the mall.
In the mall, which they're a famous one that had a TV shows in the Annapolis Mall.
Oh, okay.
So one of the inked or similar.
Okay.
Had a shop. So some malls have tattoo shops. Ours didn't.
No, did not.
But
Annapolis is probably twice the size of our hometown mall.
Annapolis might be 5 times the size of our hometown. Like, Annapolis is the capital of Maryland.
I was just there the other day.
I go there occasionally.
Anywho, so Bart goes in and immediately lies about his age. He's like, "How old are you?"
21, sir.
Yeah. So
get the chair.
Gets his tattoo. Now, some continuity problems here. We cut over to Homer at work, finding out that no one is getting Christmas bonuses.
Right.
Now we're back at the mall after Bart has gotten his tattoo. And, so Marge obviously is very upset about this.
Yes, it was supposed to be a tattoo that said mother. He got as far as moth. Bart thought she would like it, and
nope. So she, to get it laser removed, is gonna cash only. So
don't let it in your eye or your groin.
Right. So she's just all right. Well, we just have to hope that the Christmas bonus will be enough to cover Christmas. And then we get one of our first recurring themes in The Simpsons, which is repeated dialogue for humor.
Yeah.
So Bart has the bandage on his arm.
Ow! Quit it!
Ow! Quit it! Yeah. So I took note of that because I was like,
that is
one of those things.
Repeated dialogue.
Homer comes home, he can't bring himself to tell the family or to tell Marge.
Right, so he wants to do the Christmas shopping, is what he says, when in fact he has no money.
He has no money, so he just buys a bunch of cheap crap.
Yeah, pantyhose and notepaper and
a rubber steak looking thing,
or pork chop.
Oh yes, pork chop, rubber pork chop.
Rod and or Todd said, "Here's your pork chop, sir."
Yep. So after all that, he goes over to Moe's and
where we
Barney,
meet Moe and Barney.
Yeah.
Didn't realize they were in episode 1. We don't get...
No.
I mean, it's a huge cast of characters. We get maybe 10 of the recurring characters in episode 1. It's a decent number.
Maybe more, because we get Patty and Selma.
Patty and Selma, Skinner, Grandpa, Moe and Barney, Smithers, Mr. Burns. Mm-hmm. So at least 8 non-core family members.
Yeah. And they don't slow down, as I recall.
Oh, the Flanderses.
Oh,
so there you go. Over 10. Over 10 non-core characters.
Though I don't think we had Maude. I think we just
we had Ned and the boys.
Yeah. Was it both boys or was it just one?
It was just one of them all. It might have been both outside.
Okay. So anywho, so Barney is a mall Santa.
Yeah.
And says that it's what he does to get extra cash. So Homer's like, okay, I got to do this.
Right.
And he's like, I don't know, they have very high standards.
Yeah.
So Homer becomes a mall Santa.
Mall Santa. Yep.
Sorry, got to drink my water.
Water. It's we're near Baltimore, Maryland, where you wash with water.
You gotta wash. Okay, so this is the great thing. He comes home after his first gig as a mall Santa, and Patty and Selma are over. He's going upstairs.
And aside, they must have switched this up because Patty and Selma were in town visiting. They did not live in Springfield, which they obviously do in later seasons. So
fair enough. But yeah, a relatable human moment. He comes home, he's exhausted, and she's like, "Don't you want to say hi to my sisters?" And he's like, shuddering on the stairs. I'm like, yeah, I think we've all been there.
Who here has come home from work, having people in your house you weren't expecting, and just didn't want to be alive anymore?
Anyway, so he's worked both of his jobs. They mock him for not having a Christmas tree, so he goes off to get one, ends up stealing one from a farm.
And getting away with it. And why does it have a birdhouse? It's an ornament.
All right, so we then cut away to Homer actually doing the Santa work.
Yeah.
Bart. Oh, Milhouse was another one. Milhouse was with Bart when they were spying on...
Milhouse was there, you're right.
And so they're spying on him in the mall and saying, that's not Santa and I'm going to prove it.
Right.
And then Bart gets there and pulls the beer down and sees that it's Homer.
Right, and then that's how he gets involved in Homer getting his $13 paycheck.
And so Barney is thrilled to have his $13 paycheck and saying, I'm going to go down to the dog race.
Right. So I'm not going to be a lowlife and put the money on the dog races.
But Bart wants to convince him of this because TV has told him that this is how things go. A Christmas miracle is going to happen. They're going to go. Right. They're going to bet on the races. They're going to win all the money.
Right. And then Barney's got a sure thing and a dog named Whirlwind, and that's the one to bet on.
Mm-hmm. But they get there, and Homer hears the name Santa's Little Helper.
He's like, that's the Christmas miracle, boy.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to say that we got one of Bart's quotes that made it verboten to us back then.
Eat my shorts or don't have a cow.
I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Because Bart, you can't. He's the
can't say HE double hockey sticks.
No, you cannot.
That's Full House.
Anyway, they go Santa's Little Helpers last.
Not like I don't want to leave until the dog finishes. Never mind, let's go.
So they go. The owner of the dog is. He's just yelling at the dog as if it can understand. He's like, "Get out of here!" Dog runs up to Bart and Homer.
Yeah.
Dad, can we keep him? Yeah, sure.
So, but before we get back to him showing up with the dog, while he was missing from the home Christmas event, they're all sitting around watching TV, and one of the Marge's sisters badmouths Homer, and little Lisa is just like, "What did you say?" And it's like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just badmouthing your father." I don't remember the exact phrase.
What, Aunt Patty?
No, nothing, dear. I'm just trashing your father.
But that was probably the only laugh out loud funny moment for me, was that she's like, "Oh, nothing. Here's the exact thing I'm doing."
Actually, we should roll that scene because it's great where Lisa's explaining, like, he's my model for...
Right. And every relationship I have will be based on what I think about him. Like,
so if you're mocking him, you're mocking me. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll show that scene. But
he is my model of manhood, and my estimation of him will govern the prospects of my adult relationships. So I hope you bear in mind that any knock at him is a knock at me, and I am far too young to defend myself against such onslaughts.
Yeah, I love just the complete deadpan. "Oh, nothing. I'm just destroying your father verbally." Like, yeah, okay.
We had a great Bart line at the end of the race where he's like, "It sounds impossible, but TV has betrayed me," because the dog was left.
That's like nowadays the internet can't possibly be wrong.
Exactly. But yeah, they take Santa's Little Helper, they bring him home. Homer confesses about the bonus, but comes in with a dog, and everyone's thrilled. Christmas is saved. They got the best present of all time. They got a brand new dog.
Roll credits, and then you get a little singing at the end.
Yeah. So start off with a Christmas special, which, in my mind, I never remembered that the first episode was the Christmas special.
I didn't either. I was surprised. I was like, is this the right order?
Yeah. I had to actually double check the DVD versus I've taken copy. I've copied all on the computer.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was the first episode of The Simpsons. I mean, I cannot recommend the first 10 seasons strongly enough.
Right. Particularly, as we said, seasons 3 through 8 or so.
Mm-hmm. Go out. I don't know if they even print this anymore, the DVDs.
You can find it for pretty cheap if you look around.
Yeah, but this is my second copy of the first season, David.
You seem to think I've lost it, and if I did, it's in that missing bin that I can't find.
We have... It all ties together. Yeah. Missing things. So this has been the first edition of Carbon Blobs. It's going to get better as we get closer to the stuff that basically shaped our personalities and senses of humor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So for now, it's going to be a more clinical dissection of early Simpsons. Thanks.
Well, we talked a little bit about things that have formed us, things that have been a part of us from early on. Mm-hmm. And there's stuff dressing the set like the Time Machine.
Yeah.
I see Terminator behind you. Somewhere. So I had an idea, and we'll see how this goes, if this is going to be recurring or if this is just a one-off, but I made a stinger for it anyway. And we're going to call this next segment Smart Screenwriting.
D+. Oh my god. I pass.
Because I'm smart. I'm smart ahead you.
I ain't got a good brain.
I am smart. SMRT.
I love that we can work while we're on cocaine.
So the idea that I had behind smart screenwriting is there are movies, and some we love, TV shows, some we love, where you're just supposed to take at face value something that is patently absurd.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, I'm starting off with time travel, which is already mind-bogglingly difficult because of causality. But just some of the stuff that, like, oh, this is for the viewer to know what's going on in Back to the Future, like people slowly disappearing from a photograph.
Yeah, so you're drifting further away from the events that happened in the past.
Right.
And it's causing people in the present to slowly...
So you would still take that exact photo, standing in that exact space, even though one of the people no longer exists. So, I mean, it's a progress bar. It's like, oh, you're only 10% on track with I mean, it's to tell the character that he's off track.
Yes.
But it's stupid.
It is, yes.
It's
it
so
makes no
stupid.
Sense. But, I mean, yeah, visually...
Oh, it's show me, don't tell me.
I would say, visually, it's brilliant.
Yes.
Because it tells us,
the viewer what's happening without exposition. And I hate unnecessary exposition.
Yes.
And let me tell you why. It all started.
Right.
Now, one of my favorites, and I've talked about this in the past, I've written about it, I could go endlessly about it, is you can only send organic matter back in time in Terminator.
Yes.
Because time knows what is organic and what isn't, even though atoms are atoms, they're agnostic.
The ones and zeros of the corporeal realm.
Right. The building blocks of the world are just the building blocks of the world. It doesn't matter if some are organic or some are not. It's still carbon, it's still hydrogen, it's still oxygen, whatever. So, the workaround for sending a robot, a mechanical, non-organic thing, is to pack it inside of meat.
Right.
What?
Well, and you can...
So you can trick the universe, because you can outsmart it by like, aha, you made a rule, and I'm going to fix it with ground beef.
And the rules are broken in the sequel, because the second Terminator is made of a mimetic polyalloy.
Yes.
What is that?
It's liquid metal.
Liquid metal.
Yeah.
It's not flesh.
But...
it looks like a person.
It can form knives and stabbing weapons, but not complex moving parts.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. But you could, by the rules of Terminator, wrap an atomic bomb in ground beef and send it back to where John Connor is and detonate it.
That would be a lot more efficient than
sending one stalker to kill a boy. Just send a bomb back packed in ground beef.
Yeah.
If that's too difficult, lab grow a body and put the atomic bomb. There's suitcase nukes. Snooks.
Is that what they're called? That's not one.
That's not one. This is the falling down briefcase. Ask me how my day went. And,
I'm the bad guy?
I'm the bad guy. Most of the movie, no.
Took a turn, a very specific turn.
A very specific turn where he became the bad guy. But anyway, so that it kind of set me down this rabbit hole. I mean, Terminator 2 is Terminator. I don't want to say 2 because it's the best of the series, but the Terminator series, it's better than 1. It's only slightly.
I go back and forth.
Okay,
I've talked about that.
Yeah, you oscillate, and I'm decisive, so it's 2.
I can make arguments for both being the best.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But then I got to thinking, okay, what is the one trope in all of science fiction that drives me the most crazy?
I know the answer.
You can answer for me then.
The answer is that there is one central hub that if you disable that, everything else is instantly disabled.
Examples of such a thing, Tim?
The Phantom Menace is a perfect example. If we get the droid control ship...
Yep, all of a sudden droids are no longer autonomous or powered or anything.
And their heads just fall off.
The only thing holding their heads on is a spaceship.
A spaceship.
Spaceship!
What's another... I know there are many...
Independence Day.
Oh yeah.
Kind of the granddaddy of all of them. Mm-hmm. Great movie.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is blow up the mothership with a computer virus.
You don't have to necessarily blow it up. You have to give it a cold.
Give it a cold. Yeah. You sure you can fly this thing? You sure you can do all that? Yeah. And then you take out that, and then none of the technology works the way it's supposed to anymore?
Yeah, it just stops.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be like some kind of default mode.
Yeah.
As a for instance, if you had a self-driving vehicle, which exists today.
Yeah.
But if suddenly that software stopped working, you could just
drive.
This is my.
It still has that's how you drive. Your steering wheel is this close. I mean, it's to catch the drool.
It's because when I put the helmet on, I can't.
Yeah, there's only so much. Yeah. I think Battle of Los Angeles. If you watched that one,
I did once a long time ago. I think
that had that.
Even Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Live,
once
Die,
you
Repeat.
get back in time, that's great.
Yeah. Such a good movie.
Deserved so much more than it got because it was just not marketed correctly. But it's 10 out of 10. I love that movie.
One of the best, but it does have that trope. Once you get the main bad guy,
thing, everything, yeah.
Or even Starship Troopers to get the brain, and then But it's still. I guess it wasn't exactly the same, but it was still.
It was at least it went down the right. It was heading that way in Starship Troopers, but
it's afraid. It's afraid. I love that. Man, I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie.
It's a perfect movie.
I love it.
Perfect book too, even though they're completely different.
Never read the book.
The book is not a satire. The movie is, but yeah. Big Heinlein fan, and that's one of his good ones. Grok. Heinlein. Anyway. I've read a book. I'm so much smarter. I am smarter than some people. Not everyone. Crap. Where was I going to... so one of my biggest disappointments with Independence Day was not that it used that trope. It's that the sequel should have been all of the surviving aliens had taken over chunks of Earth and it was a ground war. Oh, that should have been the sequel.
Not even bigger.
Not an even bigger ship does an even bigger explosion on an even more messed up Earth.
Dude, yeah.
Like, it should have been a ground war. Like, all these things that got away from the mothership or away from the stepped down from the mothership, whatever you would call those, the city killers.
They found a way to get their stuff working. Yeah. They formed cells, and they're out there doing terrorisms.
Yeah, with better tech, and then we've been catching up on our tech. Yeah, it would have been such a cool concept. But anyway, so I just want smart sci-fi to not hold my hand, not make dumb rules just for the sake of getting to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And that one is the big culprit. Obviously, I picked on Back to the Future and Terminator because I love them, and those are kind of dumb parts and things I love.
Yeah.
But the trope that I cannot stand is blow up the main thing and everything else stops working. Like, that's just not...
But to bring it back to predictive programming, so if there ever is like an alien invasion or something, we just have to find the main one.
Main one, yeah.
Just everyone keep that in mind. Well, we're saying it quietly, so
yeah,
it doesn't get picked
up. It's okay. Yeah, the fan won't tell.
Just
unless the fan's a Fed.
Just look for the big one.
Look for the big one.
Blow it up. Give it a cold.
All right. Well, I don't know if you had anything to add.
The only thing I will say is, for a good, if you've never seen it, it's a small indie sci-fi film called Upgrade. Unfortunately, I only have it digitally, so I cannot lend it to you because I don't know if they ever printed it physically.
Is that the one where a guy gets like a software, hardware thing inside of himself and basically is leveling up?
Yeah.
I'm aware of it.
So I would say is a smart screenplay without putting smart in quotation marks. It's actually, but it plays more like a Twilight Zone episode, just done out as a feature length.
I mean, film. There's actual smart sci-fi. I mean, Blade Runner's smart.
Yeah,
like it's just a film noir with believable stuff.
Yeah, this would just be a more modern example. So you can sneak them in there, but yeah, that's all I thought of. Cool. That's it.
Oh, Arrival.
Oh gosh, the Denis Villeneuve, not the Charlie Sheen.
No,
Arrival.
Well, I mean, anything with Charlie Sheen we know is smart.
so smart. I actually like that one. It's cheesy, but I like it.
I'd have to watch it again. It's been a while.
I watched it last summer. It was on Amazon because they bought MGM.
Yes,
and they'll just rotate every month a different batch of free movies.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen some '90s action movies that I hadn't seen in a long time that way.
Yeah, so that's how I caught or rewatched that one. I think we were old enough to have seen that one in theaters because it was PG-13.
Okay, wow.
But it was a long time ago, mid-90s. Anywho.
Yeah, well, that wraps up smart screenplay. So, I don't know, smart screenwriting. Smart screenwriting?
Smart screen is all I wrote on my little note card. Smart screen!
Smart screen!
Thanks for watching.
SMRT.
Cocaine.
Oh, we've done it. We are at our traditional final segment.
Oh, if this were a movie of the week, this would be our act break.
Yeah.
but it's not. So as we've said before, we grew up in a Christian home. Mm-hmm. We are still believing Christians to this day, and we are going to wrap every episode with a segment that we lovingly, not blasphemously, have called Holy Crap.
I had 80s and 90s Christian parents.
And they were going to show people that weren't even saved
Terminator 2!
Who could it have been?
Say!
Yeah, so last time we talked about Job, but this time we're going to be talking about an entertainment property.
Actually, we're going to be talking about an author.
Ah, an author.
So, I don't know very many Christians who do not know the name C.S. Lewis.
Mr. Clive Staples.
Clive Staples himself. I think it's fair to say that just about every Christian home in the 90s had this box set.
100%. I think every one of our friends had that.
Yeah. So most people know C.S. Lewis for his work in the Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, hugely popular both as the BBC show, or miniseries, I guess, and then the films that came out early 2000s.
Yeah, Disney did those. I think they made the first 3.
Yeah, they went up through Don Treader. So that's sort of what he's popular for. I only brought his fictional works with me, but and I air quote that really.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I've read every single thing that Mr. Lewis has written. And it's just one of those things that is sort of a non-biblical cornerstone of my faith is the writings of C.S. Lewis. I remember in our band days, being in the studio, recording demos, reading Mere Christianity, and then the Problem of Pain, and just other works of his. I'm not sure how many of his you've read, or what specifically stands out in your mind that's not the Narnia or Screwtape, which is...
Yeah, Screwtape Letters is what stands out.
Screwtape's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely, it's... If you haven't read the Screwtape Letters, you should.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in my teens when I read that one. It was pretty... Because it gives you perspective, because it's a different perspective. It is a demon writing to his uncle,
right,
as he's working on his subject, which is a person,
which is as I believe a person who becomes a new convert, and trying to steer that person away from Jesus and back into a life of selfish, sinful behavior.
Yeah,
and you get a lot of like, oh man, this probably is kind of how this works.
Yeah,
Which I feel like, Lewis. Lewis is an interesting character just in general. I don't have notes in front of me. I'm speaking very loosely off of what I remember. So he worked very closely with Tolkien. He was an atheist, agnostic for most of his life, and Tolkien was one of the influences who brought him into faith.
Oh, okay.
And then it was in his later years, like maybe from midlife on, where he authored all of his Christian works. So I think he was mostly just a professor up until that point, maybe of English. Sorry, I don't remember. But yeah, so they had their inklings, where they would meet at the Eagle and Child pub at Oxford and talk literature, talk about what they were writing, talk about what they were reading, and this is where we got Lord of the Rings and where we got Narnia. And actually, little aside, Treebeard is Tolkien. I'm sorry, Treebeard is Lewis. So because he would always come into rooms harumphing and stuff. So so Treebeard was based on C.S. Lewis, allegedly. So just I love the works of C.S. Lewis, but I guess what's up here that is a little less well known, a little less beloved, and it shouldn't be, is the C.S. Lewis Space Trilogy.
Yes.
Which I have book 1 there, but to the point of today's episode, things not being where they belong, I have 2 copies of book 2, Paralandra, hands down my favorite C.S. Lewis book. Couldn't find either today. Could not find, not where they belong. So
then that's when he actually gets on the planet and meets
that. So Paralandra is, so every planet has a different name in the galactic language. So the basic premise of the Lewis Space Trilogy is that all of the planets are populated with either physical beings or spiritual beings or both, and only Earth fell. The rest of the planets are still in right relationship with their creator. Out of the silent planet, so Earth is the silent planet because we're no longer communicating.
Oh, okay.
We've been cut off from, because of our fallenness, we've been cut off from galactic civilization, essentially. Now, they're not any more technologically advanced than we are or anything like that. We're actually much further down the road technologically, which is how we're able to go to Mars, which is Malcandra, which is...
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of when he gets there and he meets the woman.
No, the woman is Paralandra.
Oh, okay, that is Paralandra.
So that's his second trip.
It's been a while since I've read these.
So I read these pretty regularly. So his first trip is to Mars. Mars has been devastated by the fallen spiritual being of Earth who attacked Mars. So basically Satan.
Could it be
Satan? And then, so nefarious men who want the natural resources of Mars kidnap our hero, take him to Mars. He flees because, they're trying to kill him. And then he meets different intelligent beings. There's 4 or so intelligent races on Mars. 3 physical, one spiritual, quasi-spiritual, kind of like angels. So his adventures go there, and then book 2, the one I love, is when he goes to Venus, which is Paralandra.
Okay.
And that's where, essentially, you get the temptation of Eve, but instead of it being the biblical narrative, you get a new temptation of Eve where you have a tempter, and then you have someone who is the result of a planet that fell arguing against the tempter, which is just awesome. Like, while the tempter throws all these things at the Eve of Paralandra, while she's separated from her husband, he's off here, she's off there. So she's vulnerable, she doesn't have anyone to help her, but God, knowing that this was going to happen, sent our hero to be his advocate, and just absolutely awesome. It's one of my favorite stories ever. In my heart of hearts, it's not fiction. NASA's been lying, and all these planets are exactly as how C.S. Lewis wrote them. It's also like, I know I will have a good time with anyone who has read Lewis because I have something to talk about. But if you've read the Space Trilogy, you go up a notch in my book. I've met, I'm 43, and I have met for the first time someone who had already read, not recommended by me, but read it by the time I had met them. 3 people who have read the Space Trilogy.
Well,
it's just not. It should be beloved.
Oh, I was just amazed that you met 3 people. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
I stopped meeting people a long time ago.
I understand. So, I absolutely adore the Space Trilogy. Book 3 is interesting because that hideous strength, it does not leave Earth. But one of the trends that is true of Lewis in almost everything that he wrote, he's pretty prophetic. He, in the 1940s and 50s, saw where humanity was going, saw where academia was going, saw where society was going, saw the destruction of objective beauty, saw the brainwashing of students, and just, it's all in that hideous strength. You kind of see the evils of where, the self-righteous academics can go. They, it's pretty disturbing at parts, but you've got sort of a blend of fantasy and sci-fi and who knows what else in book 3. But it's different. I don't think it's what anyone would have expected for the trilogy, but I still really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm. As we're recording this, I think we're about 5 days away from the updated audio version of the trilogy dropping, which I've pre-ordered. Yeah. And that one is going to be like a full radio drama, full cast.
Nice.
So I'm very, very excited because it has been at least 10 years, probably longer, since I've last read those books.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I'm very excited to go back and get the full thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're phenomenal. I don't know that I could really give Lewis enough credit. I mean, we went through an interesting journey in our faith, our church attendance, and so forth. We went to some great places, some not so great places, and a lot of confusion and a lot of chances to rebel and chances to walk away from the faith. And I just remember, my mid to late teens really just... Well, I by no means lived a perfect, sinless life after that. I just remember really grounding myself, at least mentally, in the faith through a lot of what he had written. Where, especially Mere Christianity, it's for the fancy terms, apologetics. It just gives you like the real meat and potatoes. Why do we believe what we believe?
Yeah.
And Mere Christianity does a really good job of that. It's again, it kind of breaks down a lot of scripture and just really in a digestible, intellectual argument for the faith. Now, I don't think intellectual's enough. I think, obviously the faith needs to be more than just a thought, but you also need to know why you believe what you believe. You can't be all just, flighty.
Right.
So I think Lewis is great for that, and great for really pointing out where humanity goes when it's fallen. He does a great job of that in a lot of his nonfiction. The Abolition of Man has a lot of really good stuff about that one. And then he's just got some really, really powerful quotes, which I will butcher, but it was something to the effect of we scorn virtue and then are shocked to find thieves among us. It's just sort of kind of talking about our society today. We make fun of the virtuous and then we're surprised that people are robbing us.
Right.
And then his famous line there, and I think it was the name of the essay, is who was it? We make men without chests and are surprised at a lack of virtue or bravery or whatever. And then my favorite is we castrate and bid the geldings be fruitful. It's what are you supposed to do with that? So I don't know that I have much more to say on Mr. Lewis, except everyone should read at least the Screwtape letters.
Yeah.
I assume most people have read Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe or seen the movies.
Yeah, it's in the culture at this point.
Yeah, I think
Disney's making it again. No, is it Disney or is it Amazon?
Someone's making it, and then they said they were putting their own twist on it, and I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
Get rid of that pesky Christianity and just make it
another
fantasy.
Bland. Yeah.
Ugh.
With a girl boss.
What is it that? So I love Nerdrotic, the YouTube channel, Gary, and he'll say where they make the characters resemble the Los Angeles of today that they know.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And everything is the same and boring because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that said, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or rather the entire Chronicles of Narnia, will still make me cry. There are parts in there where so Aslan is Jesus.
Right.
Spoilers. He is a representative of Jesus, and sometimes he just shows up and does stuff, and I'm like, yeah, because it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. You're allowed a couple of good cries in your life.
You're allowed any number of good cries about Jesus.
Fair enough.
It's the non-Jesus ones you have a limited number of.
Yeah.
But obviously, in the culture, and so if you've not done any, do some Narnia.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Mere Christianity is great for apologetics. Screwtape letters will give you a real insight into what the devil wants you to do and why and what a jerk he is. And then if you're looking for
that pesky devil,
that pesky devil. And if you're looking for a Narnia for grown-ups, the Space Trilogy.
Yeah,
it has a lot of the same allegory. I really wish it wasn't fiction, because I like it that much.
Yeah, probably next time we film, I might be talking about it because it'll be fresh on my mind.
Yeah,
remember that time?
Yeah, remember you talked about it? I couldn't remember. Yeah, and then my pie in the sky. This will never happen. I want enough money to secure the film rights to the Space Trilogy, and I want to make it.
So please give us money.
Please give us money, and trust me, a guy who's never made a film, to make a trilogy.
Yeah, wouldn't be at all like CEO of Daily Wire.
Well, we did it. We finished another episode. Long form.
Yeah.
We're over an hour again.
We remembered to have water.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Because throats get dry.
They do get dry and scratchy.
When I think our first couple of shots at this, we were filming as short as 20, as long as 40 minutes. We're essentially doubling that.
Yeah.
So you get a little
raspy and a little...
Because we would film a few episodes at a time.
We would.
Drink some
Spoilers.
water. Yeah.
And then
we come back in and film another one. But now we're just sitting here.
Yeah.
No cuts. Doing it live. First take. Never messing up. Always having audio and video in perfect condition.
Always. Yeah. So we should be on the every other week schedule now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you may have noticed that we're doing some standalone clips with a little more B-roll.
Yeah. Check out the clips. It's stuff we've already filmed, but we add.
We got a little bit
stuff.
more. We have a little more time to edit. A little time to make it a little more entertaining. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the idea of the short form is to be more of a video format entertainment, whereas this would like it to work audio as well as video.
Yeah, that's part of the goal. And then Yeah, so we're gonna. I guess we can announce now. We're gonna break out the Simpsons sector carbon blob, blah blah. That's gonna be our next clip. That'll be a standalone.
Yep.
And then the other one is basically like we really watch. We decide which one we think is the most entertaining. We pick that one.
Yep, pretty much.
So no real rhyme or reason other than what we think we're our best selves in.
Yeah, which is a very low bar.
So low.
Yeah, it's
so very
below
low.
the table. The bar is so low. You can't even see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
Yeah, subscribe, do the stuff. Thanks for bearing with our long break.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't have another one of those again. Till Christmas.
I was going to say, winter is only 8 months away. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Take care, everyone.